back to the Man Jones Show. I'm here with Jim Parsons. Now, look, you're on the biggest comedy in the country. It's 11 seasons. I mean, you're one of the funniest guys in America. Sucks to be you guys, though. You comedians, you comics. Roseanne Barr blew herself up. Samantha Bee's in trouble. Michelle Wolf got in the crosshairs. Do you worry for your fellow comics and comedians in the age of Trump? I mean, where are the lines now? I mean, how do you be funny and not be unemployed like tomorrow?
I feel like anybody who does anything, even like we're doing now, I don't feel any more or less worried for anybody else or ourselves than you and I sitting here right now. It crosses my mind every single time I do an interview or speak in public or anything. It's hard to speak your mind. Now, I don't do comedy in the traditional sense, like a Samantha or whatever. So I'm not trying to make jokes on my own. You know, I deliver other people's, and if they fail, I can blame them. You know, but no, it is tricky, and you touched on this in the opening monologue. We're easily offended right now, and frequently about things that are ultimately probably not that important.
Yeah. In the big scheme of things. But, I mean, what do you think about a Roseanne Barr and what she said? Do you think that she went too far? She'd been given a second chance? I mean, how do you make sense of that as a professional in this industry?
I only felt about it on an emotional scale. And so I guess that's what I'll say, which was how and why. That was really my only reaction to it. Whether the reaction to cancel the show, I was surprised that it was canceled immediately. But really, to the face of it, just reading that tweet and reading it several times, once it all happened, I don't follow her or anything, but I was like, how did you type that? Right. I did have one thought, though, which was that it's okay to say certain things as an elected official right now that it is not necessarily okay to say as an entertainer. And I find that fascinating.
In other words, the President of the United States might be able to say stuff that a working comedian could say.
And that's not even a judgment, but I think that is a fact. I mean, if your job is put into place through the votes of the citizens, like literal, not just votes of ad dollars and things like that, then you can still get by. And in this case, they cut ties, ABC did, with something that was obviously going to be a cash cow for them in the next however long.
Yeah. And by the way, a cash cow also for your friends. You've got friends who are on your show, who are on that show. How do you feel about that? Like your friends?
Awful. Yeah. Awful. You know, I think, I didn't see the quote, but I think Shonda Rhimes brought up, it's so sad for so many people that were, and that's true anytime a show is canceled in general. Right. But in a situation like this especially, I'm very close with Laurie Metcalf, and Johnny's made an appearance. I don't know what his plans were going forward with that, but I know a lot of people on there, Sarah Gilbert, and then the crew, the people you don't see, the people you don't know. I mean, there are so many people employed by any given show like that.
Taken out by a tweet.
Yeah.
Hey, I saw your Instagram feed. Should Laurie Metcalf get her own show?
Laurie should always have her own show. Laurie Metcalf is one of the American treasures of actors. She's both an incredibly grounded and truthful and wonderful dramatic actress, and one of the damnedest, funniest people that we have going.
So maybe they spin it off and keep everybody together.
Create something new for her, whatever the hell you want to do, but keep using her.
Listen, you're a good red state guy from Texas. I'm a red state guy from Tennessee.
Yeah.
Do Roseanne Barr's supporters have a point? Not about the crazy tweets, but about the idea that red staters don't have a big enough space in the sitcom culture. It isn't usually people from our part of the country. Is that something that you think about that bothers you at all? Is that a fair critique of the mainstream media?
Working in the industry, I do get the sense that we are surrounded at the creative level by more of the left-leaning mindset and heart set than we are the right-leaning. Not to say that we're completely devoid of a conservative viewpoint and people in Hollywood. I think, and maybe you feel this way too, I've always felt, the older I've gotten, I've realized I have so many conservative traits about me. I am such a family-first type of guy. Perhaps I have a more expansive view of family, but as far as its importance and the work it takes and the necessity of having pillars in your life around you and support, I don't see that as the left or right type of thing, because in my heart I know what I need, and it's the same damn thing that other people need.
What do you wish our coastal friends better understood about the heartland? I think a lot of people say, well, if you gave those red stater people more shows, it'd just be all bigotry and mean stuff. I mean, what do people on the coast miss that's positive about the Heartland?
Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, well, the ones that I know and love are very warm people who make it their mission to take care of their neighbor, and maybe they belong to a church and they take care of their community through that. You know, I grew up in a family who's very church going, still very church going.
You mentioned being a traditionalist.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that you did that was very traditional was that you got married.
Yeah.
And one thing that's so interesting is even as recently as 2012,
Yeah.
even Barack Obama was a little bit hesitant to say
Mm-hmm.
publicly he was for marriage equality. 5 years later, 2017, you're married,
Yeah.
and it's no big deal.
I
Like,
know.
nobody
I
cares
know.
at all.
I know. And in fact, the big deal, which really took me by surprise, was how, and this goes to me being a bit of a traditionalist or just a human, I don't know, how meaningful the day was. I
me
mean,
about
we
that.
did it because it was meaningful, but to actually go through the wedding, to be there in front of all of your loved ones and your family, it really gave such meaning to that, doing this where people can bear witness to it. And it meant so much more to me than I was prepared for, especially having grown up where it wasn't a possibility, and so it wasn't a dream. I'm just thrilled we did it. And again, it feels so traditional to me. It feels so much like mom and dad, but not, obviously.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can't tell you how much you mean to the country.
Oh my
No,
goodness!
listen,
Thank you.
Seriously, I mean, you're somebody who you're recognized all across the country. Every time you have a chance to do something, you do something brave, something provocative, something that's helpful to all of us. And I can't tell you how much it means to me to have you on the Van Jones Show.
Thank you for having me. Thank all of you.